Hey guys, welcome back to a new stream. This is me, Oosh. This is me, Oosh. Oosh days. Hi. We've hit a knowledge wall. So I'm gonna have to learn some more stuff. So I wanted to go multi-page for Kira, my app, and I don't know how to do how I can do that. So then I searched, and I have to learn React routers. So that's what we will do today.
What makes a hangout a great hangout?
Right. Let's go. Let's read this. So it's FSO part 7. The seventh part of the course touches on several different themes. Choro mate. Chotto matta. Okay. Okay. Everything's fine.ちょっと待って。 Okay. Sorry. The seventh part of the course touches on several different themes. First, we'll get familiar with React Router. React Router helps us divide the application into different views that are shown based on the in the browser's address bar. After this, we'll look at a few more ways to add CSS styled React applications. During the entire course, we've used Vue to build all of our applications. It is possible to configure the whole tool chain yourself, and in this part we will see how this can be done with a tool called Webpack. We shall also have a look at hook functions and how to define a custom hook. Okay, let's start with React Router. Was React Router. The exercise in the seventh part of the course differ a bit from the ones before. In this and the next chapter, as usual, there are exercises related to the theory of the chapter. Exercises related to the theory of the chapter. In addition to the exercises in this and the next chapter, there are a series of exercises in which we'll be revising what we've learned during the whole course by expanding the block list application, which we worked on during part 4 and 5. I don't know about that. My application navigation structure. I skipped part 4 and 5. My God. The application navigation structure. Following part 7, we return to React with Redux. Following part 6, we return to React with Redux. It is very common for web applications to have a navigation bar which enables switching the view of the application. Our app could have a main page like that, and separate pages for showing information on nodes and users. In an old school web app, changing the page shown by the application would be accomplished by the browser making an HTTP GET request to the server and rendering the HTML representing the view that was returned. Old school web app, changing the page shown by the application would be accomplished by the browser making a HTTP GET request to the server and rendering the HTML representing the view that was returned. In single page apps, we are in reality always on the same page. In single page apps, the JavaScript code run by the browser creates. Okay. Da 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 na 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 Here I'm gonna have to change the stupid ringtone. Gives me jump scare. What kind of what's that? In an old school web app, changing the page shown by the application would be accomplished by the browser making an HTTP GET request to the server. In an old school web app, changing the page shown by the application would be accomplished by the browser making an HTTP GET request to the server and rendering the HTML representing the view that was returned. In single page apps, we are in reality always on the same page. In single page apps, we are in reality always on the same page. The JavaScript code run by the browser creates an illusion of different pages. The JavaScript code run by the browser creates an illusion of different pages. If HTTP requests are made when switching views, they are only for fetching. If HTTP requests are made when switching views, they are only for fetching JSON formatted data, which the new view might require for it to be shown. What? If HTTP requests are made when switching views. Chotto matta. Wait a minute. In single page apps, we are in reality always on the same page. The JavaScript code run by the browser creates an illusion of different pages. If HTTP requests are made when switching views, if HTTP requests are made when switching views, if HTTP requests are made when switching views, they are only for fetching JSON formatted data. They are only for fetching JSON formatted data, which the new view might require for it to be shown. The navigation bar and an application containing multiple views are very easy to implement using React. The navigation bar and the application containing multiple views are very easy to implement using React. Here is one way. Import. Okay, gotta make this first. Okay, the folder name my learning. Learnings. My learning is fine. ちょっと待った。Again, we're gonna have 7. いやー、ちょっと待って。Okay. Da 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 na 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 Project name. Ah, no, it's fine now. No, fine. What's JavaScript now for? Scaffold. I have no idea. What's this? What is this? What is this? What is this? Damn. Okay. We have this. Denunciation. なんだこれ。なんだこれ。We don't want it. That's it. We don't want it. Okay. Okay, Sene. La 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 la. La 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 la. We don't want anything. We don't want anything. export, default, exporting it, defaulting it. Da na 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 na. Oh, oh. Const home. We'll make this first. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna duplicate this. Like pages kind of thing. Bro has everything in one place, at one place. We're gonna separate it. Ain't no good, buddy. It's not good. It's not good to have it like this. Da na 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 na. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. We'll have components, okay? We're gonna make a home. We're gonna make a home. I got up there.ちょっと待った。Capital letter. Okay. तेरी माँ का I'm a sucker for you. I'm a sucker for you. We're gonna have one more div. But it's fine now. Why is it not showing anything? Should it not show? Nani? Alright, let's go. Users, content. Why is it not showing anything? App.jsx exporting everything. Okay, we're gonna have a date called page set page. Can use state form is connected the state. What's wrong with you? Create root is not defined. Always is always we have to do. Create root was sorry, I deleted the things which I should not have. That is why. I was like, what? I was like, what? What's happening? That's why you should always keep your tab open, console open. どこにあるの? What was I doing? Okay. This is what we have. So now what do we do? Constipation. Okay, are you gonna create a 1D? What? Const. page. I don't know that. Okay, 2 pages that which takes an argument page. It's gonna take an argument page. 2. What's this syntax? You can have like 2 arguments like that? Oh, that's event. And then you that. That's page. You take page event, and then event dot prevent default. Default. That's, and then we're gonna set the page to page. I'm a sucker for you. Okay, we're gonna do page. Oh, we are changing it like by clicking on the button. That's good. That's good. So all we do is we assign this to on click event handler. It remains on click event handler, and to page home. That's it, and then we do the same thing with these two. On click to page, and here changes things. First is notes, second one is going to be users. We are going to users. Look at the padding. Const padding variable assigned, and then we just give padding, which is 5. That's it. And style. That's it. Now it has padding. What now? Content. For the content. Okay. Cha. La. Okay. So for content, that's const content arrow function. So if the page equals to home, we display, we're gonna return the, actually we have made it but not really defined it, so let's do that first. That much is fine for now. Let's do these first. Const home It's gonna learn something. Let's return home. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Export. Default home. Let's go. Well, I like typing, so gotta get my fingers moving. Notes. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Export. Default. Foito. Not so. And const users. Notes. Users. So with that, we're gonna return a home component. So I did that, so should not be any problem. Homie, sup, homie? Always. Hi. Okay. Else if we're gonna check if the page is notes. If that's true, then we just return notes. Bro, why? Yeah, what's wrong in there? Else if we're gonna follow this. If the page is users actually should be that. Sorry. What's wrong with you? My God. I'm thankful for you. That's a function. Assignment to constant variable. Content. What do you mean? I'm sucker for you. I'm a sucker for you. I'm a sucker for you. I have 15. Const variable? Assignment to constant variable. Shut up. Yeah, なんだよ。What was I trying to write? If you click home that, can I remove this? Notes, ha ha ha. Users, ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. That's it. What's the default action? Let me see if it reloads, goes back to users, goes back to the I'm a sucker for you. No, I'm a sucker for you. I'm a sucker for you. when you click it, if you build a normal website and put an anchor tag on the screen, the browser has a built-in reflex. When you click it, the browser assumes it needs to talk to the server. When you click it, the browser assumes it needs to talk to the server. When you click it, the browser assumes it needs to talk to the server. Throw away the current HTML file and download a brand new one. That causes a hard page reload. If React app does a hard reload, it wipes your entire JavaScript suite, or your use state data dies. Event.prevent default puts a muzzle on the browser. Muzzle. And it intercepts the click and says stop. Do not refresh the page. Do not talk to the server. React is going to handle this internally. Once browser is start, React simply runs set page to swap out the UI component instantly. That is the magic of an SPA, single page application. SPA. The syntax currying higher order function. Syntax currying higher order. This syntax usually breaks a gender's developer's brain the first time they see it. This is a function that returns another function. A concept called curry or higher order functions. This syntax usually breaks junior developers' brain the first time they see it. This is a function that returns another function. You can put it like that. Function that returns another function called higher order functions. Why do we write it like this? To look at how you would attach this to a pattern line. A very royal armor function counts to page. Yeah, it was initially executed. The second page loads, which causes an infinite loop. If you wrote a normal function const page like that event, React would immediately execute it the second the page loads, which causes an infinite loop. When the page renders, React runs the first half dashboard. The function does not execute the routing. Instead, it returns the second half, a brand new function waiting for the click. The function does not execute the routing. Instead, it returns the second half, a brand new function waiting for the click. React attaches the newly generated paused function to on click listener. It does not execute dashboard. The function does not execute the router. So it does the second half of the brand-new function waiting for the clip. React attaches the newly added, newly generated, paused function to click to the on-click listener. When the user actually clicks, React passes the runtime and the route changes. When the user actually clicks, React passes the runtime. It will look so bad. What's a TKTL? TKTL. No TKTL, no tab. Hara. Hot. 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 TKTL Note app users. I'll be back. I'll be back. I'm still here. I will go and I'll be back. And I will be back. 起きろよプログラミングを何しなきゃいけないぞ。 I'm back. Rod, cry and lock in. Now I'm logged in. I'm gonna log in now. Oshimai. それでおしまい。And an old school web app, changing the page shown by the application would be accomplished by the browser, making an HTTP GET request to the server and rendering the HTML representing the view that was returned. In single page apps, we are in reality always on the same page. The JavaScript code run by the browser creates an illusion of different pages. If HTTP requests are made when switching views, they are only for fetching JSON formatted data, which the new view might require for it to be shown. Okay. If HTTP requests are made when switching views, they are only for fetching JSON formatted data, which the new view might require for it to be shown. The navigation bar and an application containing multiple views are very easy to implement using React. Doronuma. Each view is implemented as its own component. We store the view component information in the application state called page. Okay, we store the view component information in the application state called page. Let's talk about this. Mama, initially it's home. This information tells us which component representing a view should be shown below the menu bar. However, the method is not very optimal. As we can see from the pictures, the address stays the same, even though at times we are in different views. Each view should preferably have its own address. To make bookmarking possible, the back button doesn't work as expected for our applications. そうだよ。そう。Okay, yes. Each view should preferably have its own address to make bookmarking possible. However, the method is not very optimal. As we can see from the pictures, the address stays the same, even though at times we are in different views. Each view should preferably have its own address to make bookmarking possible. The back button doesn't work as expected for our application either, meaning that back doesn't move you to the previously displayed view of the application, but somewhere completely different. If the application were to grow even bigger and we wanted to, for example, add separate views for each user node, then this self-made routing, which means the navigation management of the application, would get overly complicated. Sorry. Yeah. Curry rice. Mama ですね。ママですね。帰れ。さっさと帰れ。まあいいな。いいね。However, the page, for example, add separate views for each user. And node. Then this self-made routing, which means the navigation management of the application. Would get overly complicated. React router. Luckily, React has the... Is it router or router? React router. Luckily, React has the React router library, which provides an excellent solution for managing navigation in a React application. Let's change the above application to use React router. First, we install React router with the command npm install React router DOM. npm install React router DOM. Yes, sir. npm install React router DOM. Let's change the above application to use React router. First, we install React router with the command. The React routing provided by React router is enabled by changing the application as follows. Import from React. Okay, we're gonna import that. Ting lang ling lang ting lang ching lang ling lang ling lang ling lang 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 lang. Sorry. we're gonna make the changes here, sorry, rauta ですね。Okay, so now instead of that, now we have something like this. From React router DOM, we're gonna import browser routers router and route link. Is it route or root? Route kana. Our application changes now as follows. Okay, duplicate it. Yes, sir. We do that. Always. We do that always. 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 Da 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 da. Oh baby, yada. Yada. Now we are going to do this. Okay, we don't need these now. Our application breaks, of course, because we do not have that, and it's like that too. We can have this thing can go as well. We don't need anything, man. Yeah. Get a hair out of here. We can like do that. Okay. Yeah. Now there should not be an error. Objects are not valid as a React child. Nandayo. React DOM client. Shut up. Shakla bakla bop. Sorry. Okay, mama. Do something like that. Router. Okay, router. We're gonna import that. We're gonna have to import it first. Import. Okay. The actual name is this, but then we can change its name. That's common sense, I guess. So that's it, and we're gonna import it from React router DOM. Okay, we haven't used it yet, so we're gonna use it now. So we have React router. Okay, this is what we have right now. Nandatte bayo. Nani ga atta to shite mo. Okay, now it looks fine, right? Now we can do our things. We can do magic now. So now we're gonna have a div. Inside that we're gonna have a link tag, which is this but for we need to link is something. We're gonna have to import link as well. Can we do that over here? Okay, now it does something. We're gonna read the theory later. We do this first. We try to understand things on our own first. So it's like it's link. Link is link. Home baby. Well, like that's what it's doing. That's a link. It's like anchor tag, I guess. It's just like an anchor tag. So that's what we have right now. In doing nothing. And we are gonna have some of like we can give it padding as well. So let's do the style and we're gonna give it a paddings to make it look badding. Sorry. And then we can have notes, and that's the style, which is gonna have this variable prop. That's a prop, right? Hi Oshimai. I'm gonna do it again for you, just for you. Okay, share link. You see that? And it's gonna change. So we're gonna have users. You see the users now? And this is gonna have an style attribute Janine Dayo padding. Man, that is an attribute. In React terms, its attributes are props. Really? You cannot do. What's do? Okay, two. We're gonna learn two. That's the naming thing. So if we click two, if we say two, so that's what we need to do. Two रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए. I guess it's gonna take us to this link if we click that, and just like that, and we're gonna have a notes link. Notes. Bahar. Get the hell out of here, boy. This ain't your room. And what have I done? Mere yara. डूब तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना. Users. Oh no, look at that. Can you even see that? I guess not. That's fine. I cannot see that, but the URL is this now. URL is like that. That's what I'm getting. Okay, like the URL is changing by clicking that. Oh, ha 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 ha. Ine. Then we can have again route, more routes. route inside a route. Routes. We're gonna have more routes, and then there is one more route. Yeah, routes, and then we have route. Did it import? Na this ne route. It's gonna be added. Okay, like link a progressive enhanced a tag wrapped to my wrapper to enable anchor tag my wrapper to enable navigation with the client side routing. As that's what I thought. Configures an element. Okay, add declared router using the browser history API for client side routing. Okay, this one is configures an element to render when a pattern matches the current location. Configures an element to render. Configures an element to render when a pattern matches the current location. It must be rendered within a route element. Okay, note that these routes do not participate in data loading, actions, code splitting, or any other route module. Configures an element to render a pattern matches the current location. It must be rendered within a route element. Note that these routes do not. आया मजा बेटे. निकल ले. Okay, note that these routes do not participate in the data loading actions and code splitting or any other route module features. Okay, sir. Okay. Routes. What's a routes? Routes and then route. Router, route. Now we have like all of these routers. What are route. Inside routes we can have routes. Because like routes is like folder, and the route is like a path. I guess that I don't know, like I'm just trying to make my own theory. So this is okay. We're gonna notes. Oh my lord, how am I gonna have to? Okay, that's an element. Oh my, no, not like that. One, two, three. Okay, we're gonna have a path. Okay, we're gonna have a path, which is gonna be something like that, and that's it. And then we're gonna have an element, which is gonna point to an element. बाप तेरा मस्ताना गाना मेरा दीवाना बोल कोई notes is notes, route, users, and then home is home. That's it. And then for notes, for this path, it's gonna display the notes component, element component. Okay, for this path, right now it doesn't do anything. Okay, as I write that users, now it's gonna display that. And for home is home. Home. Okay, that's simple. Simple but sweet. Then we're gonna have a div tag. It's inode. What's an I? What's an I tag? What the hell is an I tag? Oh, what does it do? Note app. Department of Computer Science 2026. In an alternative, italic, idiomatic text used to differentiate. Isn't it italic like that? Browser renders I as italics by default. Modern browsers define its semantic rather than just for appearance. Used to differentiate a span of text from the surrounding content by displaying it in italics. Yeah, that was router. Now let's read the theory. The routing provided by React router is enabled by changing the application as follows. Routing or conditional rendering of component based on the URL in the browser is used by placing components as children of the router component, meaning inside router tags. Routing or conditional rendering of components based on the URL in the browser is used by placing components as children of router component here, meaning inside router tags. So that's the router tag, and we're gonna place that. Notice that even though the component is referred to by the name router, we are talking about browser router, because here the import happens by naming the imported object. We notice that even though the component is referred to by the name router, we are talking about browser router, okay? Because here the import happens by naming the imported object. According to v5 docs, browser router is a router that uses the HTML5 history API, push state, replace state, and pop state event to keep your UI in sync with the URL. Okay, browser router is a router that uses the HTML5 history API, push state, replace state, HTML5 history API, push state, replace state, and the pop state event to keep your UI in sync with the URL. To keep your UI syncing with the URL. Browser router is a router that uses the HTML5 history API. Push state, replace state, and the pop state event to keep your UI in sync with the URL. Normally the browser loads a new page when the URL in the address bar changes. Okay. However, with the help of HTML5 history API, browser router enables us to use the URL in the address bar of the browser for internal routing in a React application. So even if the URL in the address bar changes, the content of the page is only manipulated using JavaScript. The browser will not load new content from the server. Using the back and forward actions as well as making bookmarks. It's still logical on a traditional web page. Oh, Nani. Oh, this thing stays same. This one is not changing. Always. Okay. Normally the browser loads a new page when the URL in the address bar changes. However, with the help of HTML5 history API, browser router enables us to use the URL in the address bar. Browser router enables us to use the URL in the address bar of the browser for internal routing in a React application. So even if the URL in the address bar changes, the content of the page is only manipulated using JavaScript. So even if the URL in the address bar changes, the content of the browser is only manipulated using JavaScript, and the browser will not load new content from the server. Using the back and forward actions as well as making bookmarks, it is still logical like on a traditional web app page. Inside the router, we define links. We define links that modify the address bar with the help of link component. For example, it's just an anchor tag. Anchor tag. This anchor tag, okay? A progressively enhanced wrapper to enable navigation with client-side routing. Not server-side. Client-side only. Inside the router, we define links that modify the address bar. Inside the router, we define links that modify the address bar with the help of link component. For example, link as the node, and that's node. Okay. So here, like, this thing is this, the name, and that's the URL. That's it, man. Creates a link in the application with the text notes. That's what I said. Which when clicked changes the URL in the address bar to /notes. My components rendered based on the URL of the browser are defined with the help of the component route. Okay, components, that's just the URL. Okay, so what it's gonna do is, like, by clicking, it's not changing this, it's doing it's not doing that, it's only changing the address in the URL bar. Okay, so yeah, that's it. And then components rendered based on the URL of the browser are defined. Okay, components rendered based on the URL of the browser are defined with the help of the component route. So this okay. Yes sir. For example, route, path, route, that's the path. Okay, that's the path. Okay, isn't it a bit okay that's the path. La 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 la. Okay, define, wait a minute, where am I? Okay, components rendered based on the URL of the browser are defined with the help of the component route. Like this defines that if the browser address is /nodes, we render the nodes component. So it's gonna render the nodes component. If the path is, the URL path is this, we wrap the component to be rendered based on the URL with a routes component. So we wrap the components to be rendered based on the URL. We wrap the components to be rendered based on the URL with a routes component. Okay, the routes works by rendering the first component whose path matches the URL in the browser's address bar. So it's gonna go like from up to down, right? And whichever element has the path in the address bar, okay, similar to the address bar, that element is gonna get rendered. Component. We wrap the components to be rendered based on the URL. We wrap the components to be rendered based on the URL with a routes component. The route works by rendering the first component whose path matches the URL in the browser's address bar. Parameterized route. Nani kore parameterize. Okay, this one, and then 2, redirect 3, 4, then exercises. Anaconda application. You are an anaconda. I am your anaconda. Anaconda. 2, 3, and 4 only. We are here, okay? We're gonna read it after a short break. After a short break. はいはいおしまい。いやー、It's not. I'm not having fun today. I wanna have fun.